All right, so Nintendo NX sell more than the Wii U. The thing about the Wii U is, it wouldn't surprise me if the NX sells more than the Wii U because, unlike the Wii U, the Nintendo NX looked like it's going to be something that's almost completely different. The Wii U, in some ways, seemed like an upgraded version of the origin of the Wii that came out in the mid 2000s. Um, don't get me wrong, in terms of like total sales, I think it did over 88 million worldwide as of this year. But the thing about that is the Nintendo Wii, the original Wii, actually sold way more units worldwide. But the thing about Nintendo NX is that it's going to be in terms of graphics, gameplay, quality. It's going to be so much better because I think it's supposed to the game console is supposed to support the Unreal Engine 4, and and that is one of the many things I think that's going to make it stand out from the Wii and the Wii U. But as far as the Nintendo NX is concerned, I mean, it should definitely be out before March of next year because I think that's when Zelda the Wind Waker is supposed to be released. Not the Wind Waker, Zelda Breath of Fire. That's when that's supposed to be released. Wind Waker is actually the game that the Zelda game that was remade for the Wii U, and it did pretty well in terms of sales. But it wasn't. It didn't sell quite as much as Twilight Princess, which came out in 2006 for Nintendo Wii, and I feel like stuff like that is probably one of the many reasons why the Wii U kind of paled in comparison in terms of sales to the original Wii. In fact, the Wii U has actually been has been known as like one of the lowest selling consoles in the Nintendo series in terms of video game consoles. Why did the Wii U games, or why did the Wii U, have like sales that kind of paled in comparison to many games like the GameCube, the Wii, and yeah, even I think Nintendo 3DS. It's like 3DS was even in some ways like more popular, I believe. Because I remember like when Wii U came out. I mean, some people weren't feeling it. They felt like it was kind of like the Wii, except you had to pay more for the controllers and and all that stuff. And I guess some people said to themselves, "Hey, why should I go buy a new console and when I could just, take all the old games. I could just play on the Wii since they're both backward compatible." So the thing is, if with the Wii U, you got to have like many new games, like whether it's in the same series or it's something that's completely different that would catch the attention of some people. You need to have like a new game that's going to want to make people buy, buy that something that's on that particular console, which is something I believe Xbox One and PlayStation 4 is doing. It's what Microsoft and Sony are doing with those two consoles because I mean it's smart, but at the same time, it can also turn people off from buying the consoles and because they're not one, they're not backward compatible, which is somewhat inconvenient, but at the same time it'll force many people to buy newer games and to subscribe online. And the thing about online gaming is you got to buy pretty much everything that comes out within the year that comes out. Otherwise, you can't play it because other than the story mode or whatever, it's like, well, there's really not much to do. But in terms of the Wii U games, I mean, Mario, clearly had the best games in terms of Mario Kart 8, Nintendo Land, Super Mario 3 World, and the new Super Mario Brothers U. That's among the best. But with the Wii games, we didn't only have just good Mario games. We also had the original Wii had like Wii Sports Resort and Wii Play. They sold a lot along with the Mario games, along with Zelda Twilight Princess, which made for which helped them helped the Wii in terms of sales in many ways. So and I also like at that time, Nintendo had reinvented themselves. I mean, Nintendo is well known for doing that, but the original Nintendo Wii was really different from GameCube. While the Wii U didn't seem, it didn't seem too different, from the original Wii. You still use handheld gadgets like the Wii remote, and then for the Wii U, you had the Wii Remote Plus. It didn't seem, it's just, I guess some people looked at it, like, it's just more money, there's no point on. But other than that, I wouldn't say, the Wii U was, I mean, a lot of people say it was, it wasn't everything that it could have been, but at the same time, it's not as bad as everyone thinks it is. So, I mean, the Wii U still had some pretty cool titles. Mario Kart 8 was pretty fun. Um, but the thing about the Wii U is that a lot of it's expensive, especially when you're dealing with the controller. I believe the Wii U controller on average right now is probably like $50. And the Remote Plus is 40. The gamepad, with the controller, or like with the gamepad, and the charger, the controller and the charger, I believe is like $100, and and then I guess the gamepad itself is just 50, and the gamepad looks really complicated to use, especially if you're a casual gamer. So I think that might have been one of the things that kind of turned casual gamers away. Also, Xbox three, well, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and then you got PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. They're coming out with a lot of titles geared towards young adults. So at this point, Nintendo, I think most of their fan base is mostly just children and casual gamers, while I guess Microsoft and Sony are targeting more young adults with their game consoles. And because online gaming is such a big thing. I'm not sure if it's as much of a big thing on Nintendo than it is on other consoles, but at the same time, I mean, I don't think like children would most likely be found, playing online and any of that stuff, because I don't know whether or not their parents would, pay for extra content and stuff like that. But yeah, Wii U actually kind of, fell short in terms of like in terms of sales in comparison to its predecessor. I mean, I believe like in terms of hardware, the Wii U sold over 13 million units worldwide, while the Wii was over 101 million units worldwide. And even like the Nintendo 3DS sold over 59 million units worldwide. And it's like, like when the 3DS starts selling more than the home-based console, I mean, on one hand it's impressive, but at the same time it makes you wonder, what's, I guess it's time for Nintendo to shake things up, and hopefully that's what we're going to get with the release with the Nintendo NX. And the Nintendo NX seems very promising, because we got a couple of games that that many people are waiting to see to be released for that particular console. And once it's released, I'm pretty sure that the game console will start flying off the shelves overnight. During holidays and everything. So we just have to wait and see. It'll be interesting to see how much sales they get within the first week, month, or even year. So with that being said, we're staying hopeful, optimistic, and hoping that the Nintendo NX performs much better than the Wii U in terms of sales, because we know in terms of quality, graphics, gameplay, and everything else, Nintendo never fails to disappoint when it comes to reinventing themselves.